According to the African Development Bank, 20 countries in sub-Saharan Africa currently operate state-owned carriers. Nearly all, with the significant exception of Ethiopian Airlines, survive only due to heavy government subsidies. Another 25 countries have scrapped their flag carriers in favor of private operators, while some that have pushed on with small national carriers are finding the going tough. Nigeria is currently in advanced preparations to establish a replacement for the defunct Nigerian Airways. Is that a need at this time? That's where attention turns to on the program. Welcome to Aviation This Week on Channels Television. I'm Bukola Jo Oketumbi.
Air transport has the ability to radically change how economies and societies operate and interact by opening trade opportunities that benefit poorer countries. On the African continent, 54 countries make up the vast geographic space, and many did establish national carriers at independence. Some years ago, there were about 36 African international airlines, of which 26 of them had intercontinental flight services and owned about 60% of the market share on the continent. Today, there are only about 12 African airlines that have intercontinental operations, with just one making profit, and that's Ethiopian Airlines. Ethiopian Airlines, in its last financial year that ended in June, made more profit than the rest of Africa's aviation industry combined. A count that includes Kenya Airways, South African Airways and the North African carriers. National carriers that have failed include Nigeria Airways, Ghana Airways, Cameroon Airlines, Zambia Airlines and East Africa Airlines. Air Afrique, a pan-African airline established by 11 West and Central African French-speaking countries, has also been liquidated. Most of those which are operating currently are fighting for their survival. One of the leading airlines in Africa, South Africa Airlines, at the moment is struggling. It is receiving state funding to run its daily operations, but the South African president, Jacob Zuma, said recently that his government will never allow the airline to die and therefore will do everything possible to resuscitate and sustain its operations. Kenya Airways has also posted great losses, but looking for buyers.
We are still in debt, clearly. We told you last year we were looking for $200 million in terms of bridge money to allow us to have working capital in order to prepare the long-term capital structure of the business. We drew $100 million mid last year. We are about to draw the second $100 million to allow us to have flexibility in the business today, and also to allow the creditor position to reduce. From a bottom line point of view, operating profit, we will see an improvement this year clearly, because as we told you that operating profit is a strong lever for us. Of course, the loss will reduce, but we will have, of course, some big hits. We already made decisions around aircrafts. So today, we've sold 777-200s, 2 of them, they're out of the network. The 777-300s, we are subleasing those. We're subleasing another 2 787s. So all those actions have been taken. Those are painful decisions in a business. People decisions are much more sensitive. And the thing about people decisions, it's not that you can just make a casual approach to them. We have to make, as part of the holistic view of the plan, a solid review of where do we need to take reductions, what sort of quantum do we need, what's the impact of that, and how do we finance it.
7 countries in Eastern, Central and Southern Africa have begun talks aimed at establishing a multinational Pan-African airline. The proposal to the governments of Zambia, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Rwanda, Namibia, DRC, Congo and Botswana calls for the Pan-African airline to establish a base in Central or Southern Africa, from which it would run domestic, regional and international flight services, pushing back against the economic realities of depending on foreign or privately owned carriers, but also coming on a healthy dose of the pursuit of a national pride. Here at this event, the Minister of Aviation is reiterating the present government's plan for the aviation industry, which includes the agenda of establishing another national carrier.
In the next 2 weeks, we'll just announce who the transaction advisors will be. But just before then, I just want to assure stakeholders that whatever we'll be doing will be transparent for transaction advisory services that will do this concession, national carrier, MRO, everything. And we've already done. We selected about 4 firms. They would turn in the RFP that we give to them. I went extra mile to say that the transaction advisor is not an individual. It's a firm or consortium of experts, including engineers, lawyers, accountants, business managers, and so on and so forth, economists, and what have you, that are put together in an entity, and then they provide transaction advisory services.
Many are on the divide about the wisdom of this plan.
It's something of shame, I repeat again, for a country of 170 million have no national carrier. It is something that is painful to people like us who have grown up in this industry and knowing fully well those days when Nigerian Airways used to fly New York, Jeddah, Rome, London, 7 frequency. We knew those Nigerians they don't have any business, but they will be at the airport just to see the faces of Nigerians coming to those countries. That is the joy.
If a Virgin Atlantic owned by Richard Branson is still surviving, and a Virgin Nigeria in Nigeria collapsed in less than 5 years, that tells you that the environment of business in Nigeria is not correct. So we need to sit down and really say, what do we need to do? Start a national carrier tomorrow under the same environment. It will fail in less than 5 years.
For the new and upcoming carriers across the continent, resilience will seemingly be the byword following the financial trauma of the last few years for African carriers.